Welcome back to What's in Your Skillet. Today, I'll be showing you how I made these delicious buffalo chicken flatbreads using the leftover chicken from my buffalo chicken recipe that I'll link here. I've always been an ultimate fan of bread, and I'm sure there are many people who will agree with me as well, especially here in America. But I had a very unhealthy relationship with bread when I was younger. My daddy worked as a bread packager at a major bakery in Chicago. They provided the buns for the Chicago Cubs Stadium, the Bears Stadium, the Bulls Stadium, and most of the public schools, while also supplying grocery stores. Like it was a multi-million-dollar company in the early 2000s. But also for clarification, my daddy did not own the bakery. I'm not an heiress to a crazy lucrative bakery legacy. He was just a hard worker that helped keep the bread making process happen for most of the major happenings in the city of Chicago. Now, with that being said, just because they supplied to sporting events and schools doesn't mean that they were only limited to hot dog and hamburger buns. No, sir. They had muffins, they had danishes, bagels, they had all types of bakery goods, right? So this was the introduction to bread in my life. My daddy used to bring home this brown wheat loaf bread that was very similar to the bread that Ruby Tuesday used to serve before your meal, back when that was like a customary thing. Do y'all even remember Ruby Tuesday? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, he would bring home this whole wheat loaf of bread, and I would devour it. Not in one sitting, of course, but I was definitely the only one eating on it. At this time, I'm only 8 to 10 years old, and this is when most of my distinct memories of my love for bread come into play. I would eat it with butter, with jelly. It didn't matter. I'd eat it dry. I was just eating the bread because I liked the bread. The next thing I remember falling in love with were these apple danishes. Y'all, those things warmed up with some milk. Nothing hits like it, especially as a chunky kid with a bread habit. They were sweet. The little apple pieces were seasoned just well with the cinnamon and the glaze, and yeah, it was just delicious to me. My last distinct memory of my bread-esque things that my daddy would bring home were these mini rolls that were simply dinner rolls, but they had like a little spiral design on top, nothing too fancy, but I remember them being small, so I thought I could eat more of them, because of the size. Insert the ignorance from a child when you understand nothing about food and its properties. I was literally told by the doctor at age 13 that I need to seriously reduce my bread intake to like 4 slices a day. No rolls, no danishes, no waffles, no pancakes, no donuts, no muffins, just 4 slices of bread, and whole wheat bread at that. At this point, the only whole wheat bread I was eating was the rolls that my daddy was bringing home from the bakery. So yeah, whole wheat wasn't a thing for me. And when I tell you one thing about peanut butter and jellies being 10 times better on white bread than wheat, it may be an opinion, but I also believe it's a fact. And peanut butter and jellies were one of my favorite snacks as a kid, so that completely suppressed me wanting to eat a peanut butter and jelly. And they're still kind of like a favorite thing for me as an adult. I did not succeed with the reduction of the bread from what I can remember. But I am thankful that I didn't gain any real health issues from my love for bread, from childhood into adulthood. Now, fast forward to adulthood and understanding eating loaves of bread isn't healthy for anyone at any age from a realistic standpoint, even though it is delicious. It can be harmful when overconsumed, as with most things. But as with age, they say comes wisdom. I've always felt like I was an old soul, so I don't know if that necessarily is the case for me. Just kidding. But what I do know is that with age, life experience should come into play and growth. Learning from mistakes, bad habits, and so on. Therefore, my habits have changed. I work out daily. I eat way more fruits and vegetables than I did as a kid. I eat a lot of leaner meats, and overall, way less bread, except for my delicious naan. Like y'all, I feel like a kid all over again with naan. I love the texture, the versatility as showcased on my channel. I've had them sweet, savory, and in between, all being absolutely delicious. And that's actually how this buffalo chicken flatbread recipe came to be. The spiciness from the buffalo chicken paired so well with the garlic and buttery taste of the naan that it was like a match made in heaven. And with any buffalo chicken recipe, you need a sauce. Now, if you're a ranch fan, I'm not able to help you in this particular recipe, but I may be able to help you in the future. I made a dupe Bleu cheese recipe that's high protein, low fat, using cottage cheese and yogurt, some herb seasoning, and a little bit of pickle juice. The cottage cheese blended but not overly blended gives that little chunkiness from the blue cheese concept, all while being low fat and high protein. Now, if that's not what you're looking for in your health realm, you just living life and eating food as you should, do your thing. Don't worry about all these health benefits. But know that this is a healthy recipe, especially if you don't use the naan. But the naan is like one of the highlights of this recipe, especially for myself. So if you like what you see, you're interested in trying it, the video for the buffalo chicken will be linked. Now all you have to do is save this video or simply like it and it'll save to your like playlist. And if this isn't something you're interested in, let me know in the comments what you are so I can know in the future. And that, my friends, is just a little food for y'all's skillet.